Paltrow's claim that fellow skier crashed her not plausible, trial told. The injuries sustained by a man who collided with Gwyneth Paltrow on a ski slope could not plausibly have been caused by him crashing into her, a U.S. court has heard. Retired optometrist Terry Sanderson showed typical hallmarks of a traumatic brain injury and deteriorated abruptly following the 2016 incident at the Deer Valley Resort in Utah. The Oscar-nominated actress is being sued by Mr. Sanderson for allegedly slamming into him from behind, leaving him unresponsive and with several broken ribs. On the second day of the trial, taking place in Park City, Utah, jurors heard testimony from radiologist Dr. Wendell Gibby, who examined Mr. Sanderson in the aftermath of the crash. Dr. Gibby told the court that Mr. Sanderson would have protected himself if he had been colliding with Ms. Paltrow head-on. "I think it's very unlikely that this would have been caused by Terry running into Gwyneth Paltrow," he said. Based on the stated testimony of the defendant, of witness, Craig Ramone, and the pattern of injuries that are present, what I believe happened was that he was struck from the left side and that forced him into the ground. The combined weight of the two individuals slamming into the ground caused the fracture and the head injury. "I don't think it would be plausible that if he were running into her he would have broken the ribs on the side of his chest. He likely would have had his arms extended, he would have protected himself. Had he been the person running into her, I don't think he would have sustained these types of injuries." Dr. Gibby added that prior to the incident, Mr. Sanderson had been a very high-functioning, high-energy person. But after his accident he deteriorated abruptly and many of the activities he was doing he stopped doing, he told the court. His personal interactions with his children and grandchildren suffered and he had trouble multitasking. Those are all typical hallmarks of someone who has had a traumatic brain injury. I think that the ability to function at a high level was lost for Terry. Many of the things that gave him pleasure in life seem to have been abruptly diminished by this injury. Ms. Paltrow attended court in person and wore a cream-colored cardigan. During the first day of the trial, jurors heard from Mr. Ramone, who had been skiing with Mr. Sanderson and was present in the aftermath of the collision. Mr. Ramone said he had seen a skier, later identified as Paltrow, slam into Mr. Sanderson and later bolt down the hill without saying a word. He also said that a Deer Valley employee had arrived on the scene shortly after, who had told him your buddy just took out Gwyneth Paltrow. The defense is seeking damages of up to $276,000, £2,688,000, said Lawrence Bueller, who is representing Paltrow. Ms. Paltrow, who was described by her legal team as a conservative skier, is countersuing Mr. Sanderson for $1, alleging that he was the one who crashed into her. The trial continues.